everyone. I'm Rotaract Malmi Hassara from the Rotaract Club of National School of Business Management with Road to A+. So we thought of initiating this project, Road to A+, in order to support and help you all in rewinding and recapping the lessons that you did throughout this year. So during this lockdown period, you might be having only a very few access to your study material. So therefore, we thought that this will be a great opportunity for you all to recap the lessons that you did throughout the year. So as the first step, today, I'm going to start with the grade 9 English. So today, I'm going to do the first lesson of grade 9 English. So let's get started. So now I'm going to share my screen, and then let's start with the very first lesson. Everybody is good at something. Okay, so when you get to know this title, this heading of the lesson, everybody is good at something, even you feel that you are also good at something. Okay, so you must be good at dancing, you must be good at singing, you must be good at cooking, writing, reading, photography, anything. All right, so here as the first activity of this first lesson, we have an act out. Okay, so there are two boys, Malit and Pubudu, and they are discussing something. Okay, so it says Malit and Pubudu are talking about a TV program. Okay, so definitely this must be a TV program that they watched on the previous day, and now they are talking about what they saw in that TV program. Okay, so let's see what they have seen in the TV program. Okay, Malik. Hello, Pubudu. Did you watch the finals of Children Can Sing on TV yesterday? Pubudu. Yes, I did. You know, all my family are music lovers, so we watched it all together. Malik. There was quite a large audience at the show, wasn't there? Pubudu. Yes, the hall was full. And what about the boy who came first? He had a great voice. Malik. He sure did. The audience were already clapping their hands when his name was announced. Pubudu. Yes, they must have guessed all alone that he was going to be the winner. Malik. What about the orchestra? It was quite big. There were nearly 30 members in it. Pubudu. Yes, the orchestra were all talented. They did a wonderful job. Malik. Yes, you took the word right out of my mouth. All right, so this seemed to be a discussion between two friends who watch the same television program, or as you can tell it, a reality program. Okay, so they have watched the reality program the previous day, and now they have come to school and they're in a discussion about what happened in the TV program or the reality program. Okay, so since we read the whole thing, I would just like to give some attention to some specific words. Okay, so now at first Malik is the one who's coming to Pubudu and he's asking whether he watched this Children Can Sing program. So when it says Children Can Sing, we can obviously identify that this is a singing competition. Okay, so then Pubudu is telling that since his family members are also music lovers, they all watch it together. Okay, so here Malik is telling that there was a quite large audience. Okay, so what do you mean by audience? Anyone has any idea about what this word audience means? Audience. So audience is a group of people who watch a program. Okay, so here they are referring to the audience who were lively watching this event. So even the people who are watching from the TV can be known as the audience. But here they have referred to the audience or the people who are watching this program live at the place. Okay, all right. let's go down and see. Then they are now commenting about the first place, okay, the performance of the first place or the winner's performance, okay. So they are telling that he had a great voice, okay. And then like this is common for all actually. So if someone is watching a reality program from the beginning itself, so towards the end of the program, everyone is having someone in their mind thinking that they will win this program, okay. So likewise, even they had that clue, or they had this guess within their head that particular person will win this contest, okay. So that's why they were telling, the audience were already clapping their hands when his name was announced, as they have guessed all alone that he was going to be the winner, okay. So then they are talking, after talking about the singer, again they're talking about something called what? The orchestra, okay. You can see orchestra, all right. So they are talking about orchestra. So what do you mean by the orchestra? So orchestra is a word used to express about a group of instrumentalists or people who play instruments, okay. So orchestra is a group of people who play instruments, okay. So when we have a reality program, we have singers and we have announcers, we have audience. But if you have singing sessions, obviously you want to have players, okay. So the orchestra consists of players who play different types of instruments, okay. So they have 4 sections, as in percussion, woodwind, string, and bass, or the brass, okay. So the brass section. So likewise, so they have 4 sections likewise, and then all together, all these instruments, instrumentalists are known as the orchestra, all right. Okay. So then Malit is commenting at the end. He's telling, yes, you are correct. The orchestra was very talented and they did a wonderful job. Okay, so when Pubudu is telling that they are talented, Malit is telling, you took the word right out of my mouth. What does that mean? That means even Malit wanted to tell the same thing. That means even Malit wanted to praise the talent of the orchestra. All right, so that's how we can explain this dialogue. Okay, so once we're done with explaining the dialogue, we can move on to the activity number 2, which we can call as reading. Okay, so answer the following questions. All right, so here the first question they are asking is, what is the TV program mentioned in the dialogue? Okay, so when you get questions like this, we have to know how to answer these questions. Okay, so let's see how to answer these questions at first. Okay, so when you get to know, when you get a question like this, you have to find the keywords. Okay, you have to find the keywords. Okay, what is the TV program mentioned in the dialogue? So this means they are asking about the name of the TV program. Okay, so we can just go up and find out what is the name of the TV program. Okay, so here, if you just look at the very first sentence, okay, you can find it out. Here it says, children can sing. Okay, so children can sing is the name of this particular program, of this particular TV program. So what is the TV program mentioned in the dialogue? The TV program mentioned in the dialogue is the, you can tell the name as children can sing. Okay, so that's the answer for the first question. Okay, now we can move on to the second question. Okay, let me go down. All right, so the second question is, did Pubudu watch it alone? Okay, so watching it alone means you are watching by yourself. No one is accompanied with you. Okay, not even a family member, not even a friend. So let's see whether Pubudu watched it alone. Okay, let's go up and see. So here, Pubudu is telling, yes, I did. You know, all my family are music lovers. Okay, we watched it all together. Okay, so here he says they all watched it together. Okay, so that means he has not watched it all alone. Okay, so when they ask a question telling, did Pubudu watch it alone? You can say, no, Pubudu didn't watch it alone. He watched it with his family. Okay, so that's how you can answer the second question. Okay, so then we are moving on to the third question. Okay, it's asking, who had a great voice? Okay, now this is the key word, great voice. Okay, who had a great voice? So they are asking the name of the person or the position of the person who had a great voice. Okay, so let's just find the keyword great from this dialogue itself. Okay, so can you find the word great voice from this dialogue? Yes, you can find. Here you have this word. What does it say? Pubudu is telling. And what about the boy who came first? He had a great voice. Okay, so now you can see the question is asking who had a great voice. So now you can give the answer as the boy who came first had a great voice. Okay, the boy who came first had a great voice. Okay, so likewise you can answer that question as well. Okay, and now they are asking about the orchestra. Okay, so now we talked about the orchestra. How many members did the orchestra consist of? Okay, how many members did the orchestra consist of? Okay, so how many means they are referring to the number. Okay, and members of the orchestra. Okay, so they are asking how many members were there in the orchestra. Okay, so let's find it out how many. Okay, all right. So here it says there were nearly 30 members in it. What about the orchestra? It was quite big. There were nearly 30 members in it. Okay, so this says the number of instrumentalists who were in the orchestra. So what's the number? The number is 30. Okay, so it says how many members did the orchestra consist of? The orchestra consists of 30 members. Okay, the orchestra consists of 30 members. Okay, and now we are coming to the fifth question. Okay, it's a very interesting question. Okay, just see. You took the word right out of my mouth. What does this mean? I explained to you when I was explaining the lesson or the dialogues. Okay, so that is the last sentence of our dialogue. Okay, so in this dialogue it says, Malit says, yes, you took the word right out of my mouth. At which point he's telling that? He's telling it when Pubudu was praising the performance of the orchestra. Pubudu was telling the orchestra was all talented and they did a wonderful job. Okay, so at that point, Malit is telling, yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. So that means he is also agreeing to what Pubudu said. Or in other words, you can tell that Malik was going to tell, yeah, I was also going to tell the same thing. Okay, so without telling that, he is telling, you took the words right out of my mouth. So that means Malik is agreeing with Pubudu that the orchestra did a wonderful, great job and they had a great talent. So Malik is agreeing with Pubudu and he's telling, even I was going to tell the same thing. Okay, so when you come to the question, you took the words right out of my mouth, what does this mean? Choice A is, I didn't understand what you said. Okay, choice B is, I was going to say the same thing. Choice C is, I don't agree with you. Okay, so according to my explanation, what can it be? Yes, it will be this second answer. Okay, I was going to say the same thing. Okay, so if you are going to give the answers, I'll just type the answers in here so you can refer it later. What is the TV program mentioned in the dialogue? The TV program mentioned in the dialogue is, what was the name? Name was Children Can Sing. Okay, the name was Children Can Sing. Okay, so the name of the TV program is, the TV program mentioned in the dialogue is Children Can Sing. Okay, so did Pubudu watch it alone? Here we can tell. Let's add a text box here and write, no, he didn't watch it alone. Further, if you want, you can say, no, he didn't watch it alone. He watched it with his family. Okay. Who had a great voice? Okay. So the next one is, who had a great voice? The boy who won had a great voice. Okay. The boy who won had a great voice. Okay. Okay. And then it's asking, how many members did the orchestra consist of? Okay. The orchestra consists of 30 members. Okay. So orchestra consists of 30 members. I'm going to take this down and keep. Okay. So those are the 4 answers for the questions. All right. Okay. Now we can go to the final question. Okay. Find words in the conversation which mean much the same as the following. Okay. So that means we have to find the similar words. Okay. So the first one is said officially or in public. Okay. You're telling something officially or in public. What does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? Let's go up and find it out. Okay. Well, I'm going to clear these answers right now, otherwise it will disturb the wave. Okay, so I'm going to clear all. All right, now we can see. Okay, so you are telling something in public and in an official way. What can we say? Well, can you see there is a word called announced? Announced. Okay, announced means you're telling something officially or you're telling something in public. Okay, so that is the answer for that question. Said officially or in public. Okay, so I'll write down the answer here. Announced. Okay, so announced is the word for said officially or in public. Okay, announced. All right, then almost. What do you mean by almost? Almost. That is like you have already done, like you're very near. Okay, so here you have another word that fits with that word, a similar word. What is that? Here, nearly 30 members. Okay, so it says the orchestra had nearly 30 members. So almost means nearly. Okay, you can come up with this similar word, nearly. Okay, so let's write it here, nearly. All right, so from there only we took that word. All right, then the final one is a group of listeners or spectators. Okay, a group of listeners or spectators. What do you think? We had a similar word. Okay, so I was explaining that word as well. Okay, what was that? Well, I said the people who are watching the event are called as who? As the audience. All right, so this is the word you can take there. Okay, so let's just go down and type it over there. All right, here. Let's take the text box. Okay, so audience. Audience is the similar word for a group of listeners or spectators who are watching an event. Okay, so these are the three similar words that you can use instead of these phrases or these words. Okay, so we all found these three words from the dialogue itself. Okay, so I guess now we are done with that activity as well. Okay, now we are going to move to the next part. Okay, so next we have a very interesting grammar lesson. Okay, so we have a very interesting grammar lesson here, which you call as the collective nouns. Okay, first let's just read this out. Okay, collective nouns. When we use a collective noun, we can use either a singular or a plural verb. The choice depends on whether we see the group as a whole or as a number of individual members. We use a singular verb in the group acts as a singular unit and a plural verb when the members of the group act as a number of individuals. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you all have learned about collective nouns. And now as I'm doing a recap, I'll just rewind your knowledge. Okay, so collective nouns are a group are the nouns or the words which expresses about a group of individuals. It can be objects or it can be people, anything. You are considering about a group. Okay. So when it comes to that, you can either consider them as singular or you can either consider them as plural. Okay. How come that happens? Okay. So if you take a group, it's just one group. Okay. So if you feel that you are considering about that particular group as one, then you can call it as singular. Okay. And when it comes to plural, what we do is we think that there are a few individuals within that group, and so we call that plural. Okay. So here we have a nice example. Okay. It says there was quite a large audience. Quite a large audience. Okay, so we know whenever we use the word that means we are considering about a singular verb, a singular noun. Okay, so a large audience means the whole audience is considered as one unit. The audience seen as one unit. Okay, here they say the audience is seen as one unit, as a unit. Okay, but here it says the audience were already clapping their hands. Okay, clapping their hands. So here they have considered the individuals who are inside that group. Okay, the audience seen as a group of people acting individually. Okay, so since you are considering about the individual people or the individual units within that group, you have to consider this as a plural noun. Okay, so you can see it's the same noun, the audience. Okay, here also they are talking about the audience, and here also they are talking about the same audience, but here you consider it as singular, while here you consider it as plural. Why? Here you consider it as a group, a unit, okay? But here you saw the individual items or individual humans within that group, okay? So now you can see a list of collective nouns, okay? So here you can see a list of collective nouns. Army, okay? So army is a collective noun. An army of soldiers. Okay, so you can see so many soldiers together and you call them as an army of soldiers. Okay, and here we have audience. Okay, so the people, the whole lot of people or the whole group of people who are watching an event is called as the audience. Okay, then the board. You have heard of the board of directors. Okay, so when you talk about an organization, the organizations are controlled by directors. So there are like few directors, and all those directors together you call as the board of directors. Okay, the band. Okay, so I was telling about the band, the musicians, the instrumentalists. Okay, so when you have a group of instrumentalists, you call them as a band. Okay, then the committee. So you have heard about the organizing committees of the events. Okay, so even at your schools you might be having the societies, and from there you might be organizing events and all. So for them you have organizing committees. So what do you mean by organizing committee? All the members who are engaged in the organizing process of that event is called the committee. Okay, so few people together you call it a committee. Okay, then the crew. What do you mean by the crew? You have a crew at ship, you have a crew at the airplane. Okay, so the ones, not the passengers, but the crew are the ones who are staffed in the aeroplane or in the ship. Okay, the workers, like even the captain, then the sailors, they are all considered to be crew members. And when it comes to the aeroplane, the pilot, the co-pilot, then the air hostess, all of them are known to be a part of the crew. Okay, and family. Okay, so you have the mother, you have the father, you have siblings, you have the sister, you have the brother, the grandfather, grandmother. So when you take all of them together, you call them as a family. The ones who are living under one roof are called to be family. Okay, so then you have the jury. What do you mean by the jury? Jury is something that you can find at court. Okay, so in the court you can find a jury. Okay, so in some cases they want to get the help of the general public. So at that time the court calls a few personalities from the public, and then they give them a chance to listen to the court case, and then they are going to take the opinion of them. So there are like 5 to 7 people, as I can remember, and they are the ones who are taking the decision on whether we are going to make that particular person the wrong man or the right man. Okay, so for that process, you're going to take few members from the general public. They can be teachers, engineers, doctors, anyone from any profession. They are going to select few, and then they are going to take their opinion after listening to the court case. Okay, so those few people together you call as a jury. Okay, so then we have the orchestra. We have already talked about the orchestra. So orchestra again consists of different instrumentalists. Okay, the people who play instruments. Then the public. Okay, so the public is the people who are out from their home. Okay, so there are so many people out from their home, and you call it as the public. Okay, and the staff. You have seen the staff room at your school. Okay, all your teachers, your sirs will be there at the staff room. So the teachers, sirs, principals, deputy principals, all together are called as members of the staff. Okay, so individually they can be the principal, they can be the vice principal, they can be the deputy principal, they can be the teachers, they can be the sirs. But when you take all of them together, you call them as the staff. Okay, so finally you have team. Okay, you have heard about the cricket team, the basketball team, the rugby team. Okay, those are the team, the group of players all together, the group of students who play cricket, the group of players who play rugby, they are called as the team. When you take them individually, they can be a cricket player, a rugby player, a football player. But when you take them all together, you form a team, and then you call them as the cricket team, the rugby team, the football team. Okay, so just one unit. The all players, when we consider all the players as just one unit, you call them as the team. Okay, all right, so that's about collective nouns. So now we have an activity from collective nouns. Okay, so it says fill in the blanks with the words given in the box. All right, so just let's start doing it. All right. A cricket blank consists of 11 players. Cricket what? Do we say cricket crew? No, right? We say cricket team. I just said when you have a group of players together, you call them as the cricket team. Okay? So you call them as the cricket team. All right? A cricket team consists of 11 players. All right. Okay. Then we are going to the second question. Okay. The medical team blank discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. Okay. So the medical team is discussing. Medical team blank discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. Okay, so now the word team is already gone. Let's cut that off so it's easy for us. Now the word team is gone. Let's use a different color. Okay, the word team is gone. Okay, now we have crew, there, has, and are. Okay, so what is the word that we are going to use from this box to fill this gap? The medical team. Okay, so when you take medical team, team means just one, a single unit. Okay, so you can think that it can be singular. Okay, but let's go on reading. Okay, discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. It say how they can. Okay. So this means they is a word used to show the plural nouns. Okay. So that means here we have to consider about the individual members who belongs to this medical team. Okay. So because of that, we are going to use the word are. Okay. The medical team are discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. So did you understand how we took that? Because we considered the word they, and from there we came to the decision that here, though it is called as the medical team, though they refer to one, just one unit, since they have used this word they are considering about the individual members who belongs to this medical team. They are talking about the individual actions they are being made. Okay, so because of that, we are going to use the word are. Okay, so let's just type are. Okay, the medical team are discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. All right. Now we are done with 2 words. Okay. Now we have crew, there, and has. Okay. Blank was a TV crew at the ceremony. Should be crew. Okay. Was a TV crew at the ceremony. So means TV crew means the people who are working for that TV channel. Okay. So we can say there was a TV crew at the ceremony. Okay. So we can say there was a TV crew at the ceremony. All right, there was a TV crew at the ceremony. Okay, now we are done with that word as well. Now we have 2 words left, crew and has. The ships blank were all saved by the Navy. Okay, so here we can identify that we have to use a collective noun over here. So the only collective noun we have left with is crew. Okay, so also I said the workers or the people who are working in the ship is known to be the crew. Okay, so we can say the ship's crew was saved by the Navy. Okay, so let's type it, crew. The ship's crew were all saved by the Navy. All right, so now we have the final word left here, has. Okay, so it should come over here. The band has only 1 guitarist. Okay, so here the band means they are considering all the players, all the instrumentalists together as one unit, so you call it the band. Okay, so as a singular word, and it is now talking about an individual player. They are telling that this band has only 1 guitarist. Okay, so now we are going to use the word has over here. Okay, all right. The band has only 1 guitarist. Okay, so if we go through the answers again, a cricket team consists of 11 players. The medical team are discussing how they can tackle the dengue problem. There was a TV crew at the ceremony. The ship's crew were all saved by the Navy. The band has only 1 guitarist. All right. Okay, so that's the end of the activity number 3. Okay, so I'm going to clear these answers. Okay, and then I'm going to move to the activity number 4, or the last activity that we are going to do under our first session. Okay, so activity 4 is about vocabulary. Okay, and here I have to remind you about the lesson about be verb. Okay, so for that, I'm going to switch my screen sharing from the lesson to a whiteboard. Okay, so let's just stop sharing this, and I'm going to share this whiteboard with y'all in order to give you a better understanding about the be verbs. Be verbs. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we have our whiteboard. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you about the be verbs. Okay. Be verb. So when you have the be verbs, okay, so you have different forms of this be verbs. Okay. Okay, you have different forms of this be verb. All right. Let's see what are those be verb pattern, be verb forms. Okay. We have 5 such. Okay. Okay. The first one is am. Okay. The first one is am. Okay. And then the second one is. Okay. Is. Am. Is. Then the third one is are. Okay. Am. Is. Are. Then fourth one is am. Is. Are. Was. And the final form is verb. Okay, so these are the 5 forms of the be verb. Okay, am, is, are, was, were. Okay, so you use am with the verb I. Okay, so you use the verb am, the word I. Okay, you say I am. Okay, you say I am. So let's give some examples for that. Okay, let's give some examples for that. Like, I am Malmi. Okay, so my name is Malmi. So I am telling I am Malmi. Okay, so likewise, you can tell your names as well. Okay, also I can tell I am a Rotaract. Okay, so likewise, you can use the word am with the word I. Okay. Sorry. Then I'm going to go back to the whiteboard. Okay, so then with the word is and are. Okay, so when we talk about is and are, okay, so you're telling I am, and for is and are, you know, is and are is all about the present tense. Okay, we take these 2 words when we are in the present tense, but is for singular and are is for plural. Okay, so we can tell the girl is sitting. Okay, so present tense means the things, the actions that we do just now, the things, the actions that we do right now. I am teaching. Okay, so teaching, I am now doing teaching. Okay, and you are now listening. Okay, so because of that, I can tell children are listening, girl is listening. Okay, so if it is girl, since it is a singular word, okay, we can tell the girl is listening. Okay, and if we tell children, since it is plural, we are going to say children are listening. Okay, so likewise we have was and were as well. Okay, so when you take was and were, was is for singular and were is for plural. Okay, but the tense is different. Tense is past tense. Is and are for present tense, was and were for past tense. Okay, the girl was listening, girls were listening. Boy was walking, boy was walking, boys were walking. Okay, girl was studying, children were playing. Okay, so in the be verb we have 5 forms: am, is, are, was, were. We use am with I, like I am Malmi, I'm a Rotaract. And we have is and are, where we use when we talk about the present tense. And is used for singular, while are is used for plural. Girl is drinking. Girls are drinking. Okay, and we have finally was and were. Was is for present tense, was is for singular and were is for plural, and both these words are used when we are talking about the past tense. Okay, boy was swimming, boys were swimming. Okay, so this is what I needed to tell you about the be words. Okay, so now since we are done with explaining about be verbs, I think we can go to our final activity. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the lesson. I'm going to share the lesson. Okay, all right, so we have activity number 4, or the final activity for the day. Fill in the blanks with the correct verb. Okay, their family blank smaller than ours. Okay, so here we just learned about be verbs, plus we learned about the collective nouns. Okay, so we can see this word family. What did I tell you about family? Family is the group of members who belong to one home. Okay, all the people who live together at one home are called the family. Okay, so here the family is considered to be a single unit, and therefore we are going to use the word their family is smaller than us. Okay, since this word represents the singular form, we are going to use the singular form of the be verb is. Okay, all right, now we can go to the second question, the second sentence. The crowd blank cheering at the top of their voices. Okay, so it says the crowd. Okay, again the crowd is a group of people. Okay, so here you might be thinking that we can consider this as a single unit. Okay, but just go on reading the sentence. It says cheering at the top of their voices. This is something exactly similar to the example which we were given at the beginning of the lesson about the audience. Okay, it says the audience were clapping. Okay, so there, if you can remember, it said here, clapping their hands. Okay, clapping their hands. And now we have come to something similar like that. Their voices, their hands, and here their voices. So here the action of the individuals have been considered. Okay, so since they have considered about the individual units or the individual people from this group of people, we have to consider this to be plural. Okay, so we have to consider this to be plural, so we have to use the plural form. Okay, so from was and were, the plural form is were. So the crowd were cheering at the top of their voices. Okay, so now moving to the third statement, it says there blank a small crowd outside the gate. Now again we have the same word crowd over here, but just give it a look. It's a small crowd. Okay, they have used the word a. So whenever you see the word a, it says that this particular crowd means the single unit. Okay, the group of people are considered to be a single unit. So therefore we consider this as a singular word, and therefore we use the word is. There is a small crowd outside the gate. Okay, and now we are coming to the fourth sentence, and it says all her family blank vegetarians. Okay, again we have the word family. Okay, so here we considered family as singular, and here also are we going to consider it as singular? No, because it says vegetarians. Okay, vegetarians means they have considered about each and every member within this family. Okay, so since they have considered the individuals, we have to consider that family is a plural word over here, and therefore we are going to use the word are. Okay, all her family are vegetarians. All right. Okay, now we are moving to the final sentence of the activity, and it says the cricket team. Okay, so now it says the cricket team. Okay, individual unit blank just finished their warm-up exercises. But here it says their warm-up exercises. So when they say their, that means they're considering about each and every member of the cricket team, each and every player of the cricket team. That means we have to consider this cricket team word as a plural word. Okay, so therefore we have to tell the cricket team have just finished warm-up exercises. All right, so if I just tell you the answers again very quickly, their family is smaller than ours. The crowd were cheering at the top of their voices. There is a small crowd outside the gate. All her family are vegetarians. The cricket team have just finished their warm-up exercises. Okay, so that's all we are going to do for today. So here I'm going to clear all these. All right, so yes, now we did 4 activities which are connected for this first lesson, and I'm going to continue the first lesson, the next few activities of the lesson number 1 from the next video. So this will be the 1.1 session, and the 1.2 session will be uploaded soon by me. So till then, I guess you all will watch this and recap your knowledge, and if there's any questions, I'm ready to answer them as well. So just go through this and do the exercises again and again, and listen to this and clarify all the doubts which you have regarding the grammar lessons and all. And so we can meet from the next video that will be uploaded regarding the first lesson, the next few parts that will be named as session 1.2. So till then, be safe, stay safe, and have a great week. goodbye. Bye, Villa, Rotaract.